Thank you. I thank my friend for yielding. Madam Speaker, I rise in support of H.R. 4825. Commend my colleague from Arizona for bringing this legislation to the floor. $12 trillion debt will burden future generations, and this legislation before us today is a good start. But I think Congress must and can do more. And you don't have to go any further than the unemployment rates here in this country. As you well know, Madam Speaker, the unemployment rate nationwide is around 10%. In my state, it's closer to 13%. In fact, in some counties in my district, it's closer to, in fact, it exceeds 17%. Foreclosure rates are high. Families in my district and throughout my state are losing their homes. Foreclosure rates in Nevada are 4 times higher than the national average. Families are making tough decisions in the state of Nevada, and they're asking the questions, why aren't we making these same tough decisions here in Washington? And the reason is that Washington feels no pain. We are in a recession-proof zone here in Washington, D.C., as we have, in the last year, hired more than 120,000 new federal employees across this country. States and local governments are cutting their budgets. Families are cutting their budgets. Small businessmen are cutting their budgets. Medium-sized businessmen are cutting their budgets. And yet here in Washington, D.C., we feel no pain. I think sending the unused congressional budget account funds to pay down the debt is one thing, but stopping the growth of this account is another. The MRA account has grown nearly 50% since 2000. I introduced the reduction of irresponsible MRA, or the TRIM Growth Act, to prevent the MRA from increasing during times of high unemployment or public debt. My legislation would prevent the MRA from increasing unless national unemployment is under 6% or less for at least 6 months, consistent with the unemployment levels of the 1990s, or Congress reduces the national debt to less than $5.5 trillion, which was a reduction of 50% at the time this bill was drafted. Congress ultimately needs to feel the same pain of the American people. Financial challenges facing our nation cannot be solved in one day, and as public servants, members of Congress must lead by example. In addition to passing this legislation today, I urge my colleagues to join me in supporting the TRIM Growth Act. Let's show the Americans who are figuring out their family budgets at the kitchen table today that they are not alone. And I thank my friend again for the time, and I yield back.